Good afternoon, YouTube, and welcome to the Fantasy Forecast for Sunday, April 10th, 2016. Man, we are rolling right to the end of the NBA season here, and results real fast. Guys, mine was shitty yesterday, although if you went with Daily Fantasy Cafe, one of the optimals I had showed you, those guys pulled a 322.4. I'm going to interject it in the middle of the camera and make it focus on it and everything. Oh, oops. My bad. How horrible was that? I had it up there and it's gone now. Oh, here it is. There it is again. Let's do it one more time and try to make this. Look what their daily fantasy thing came up with. Look at those jerks. Lillard, 44. Schroeder, 26. Levine, McCollum, Ennis, Durant, Johnson, Millsap was the killer at 65, and Gasol at the bottom, even though he was expensive. A 322, though. Beautiful. Okay, I love you guys. Great. Now, on to Roto Grinders for today, right? Let's just keep moving on. That's why I give you guys all the optimals, and you can make your choices, and everyone's happy, and we all figure out what the hell we're going to do. Okay, for today's optimal, we have Curry. And guys, today is like the last week. Which teams have something to play for and which teams don't? Who gives a shit and who doesn't anymore? Who could get popped? Do I think Popovich cares about the home record anymore for an entire season when he's already got the entire record for, the longest streak ever? He knows the streak will be broken at some point. He's basically got a whole season. No, I think the guy is actually going to be smart and be concerned about making sure that he doesn't lose a guy for the rest of the season. Like Sacramento just lost Cousins last night. There was no reason to play anymore. Win or lose, in some situations, you don't need to play some guys. And injuries happen. It's a fact of life. So, you lose a guy you pay $20 million a year for, it's going to crush you. This is just... I avoid people that are going to get popped right now. I avoid Raptors that don't need to play right now. As the season gets thinner, there are a few people that are playing for incredible seeding positions, and then there are most people that don't play for anything. This is the time to stack. This is the time to find where value is that is good value, and work the players that you're buying around it. Not so much as, oh, they're a stud, they're going to get it, as in, they're a stud, and they're going to get time. Alright, so, Roto Grinders, guys. I'm done lecturing. Point guard, Curry and Larkin. Curry is at 45 projection. Larkin is projected at 27. Shot guard, we got Vucevic and Rashad Vaughn. Vucevic is projecting at 21, and Vaughn is projecting at 20. It's like the wild thing to me. 5.5 times value. Kwame Leonard and Covington at small forward. Kwame's projecting at 41. Covington's projecting at 32. Robinson projecting at 40 points. His value has really gone up a lot, but he's still just 6 times value there. Favors projecting at 33. I mean, the exact same price, but he's projecting 7 points lower. And there's some argument to be made that Favors is a better player, but maybe not. Not fantasy-wise, at least. Not in terms of Roto Grinders today. And for center, you have Whiteside, and he's projecting at 42. The entire lineup is projecting at exactly 300. And so that's Roto Grinders for you guys today. Let's move out of here. Okay, and this is RotoWire for you guys today. And if you're looking for the winning one from yesterday again, I know you guys like to chase it, was Daily Fantasy Cafe. But these are projections. Look at all of them. Think about them. Think about game flows. Okay, at the point guard, they have Smith and Hill. That's interesting. Smith is projected at 30 points with 31 minutes. Hill is projecting at 23 points with 29 minutes. So, 30 for 31 and 23 for 29. It's like the minutes are almost the same because of the price difference. Hill is a good value, and I prefer neither really. But moving on, we got Wade projecting at 29 points with 28 minutes. We got Ellis projecting at 28 points with 31 minutes. We got Paul George, who's still game time decision. He's probably going to play, guys. 36 points and 33 minutes. We got Hayward projecting at 32 points with 34 minutes. We got Aldridge projecting at 33 points at 28 minutes. Guys, if you don't think he could get popped, I mean, honestly, you really don't think that he just would sit him for the whole fourth or a good majority of the time and, basically just let him show his hat to the crowd and put a few points down. And this Pop isn't dumb, guys. Pop's one of the smartest coaches in the NBA. I'd be scared of everyone in San Antonio right now, and that's just me. Because they're locked in. They can't get one, even in this rivalry game. And I mean, if you think they want that home court record, then I'm wrong. It's narrative. But Golden State, I think they want that Bulls record that everyone's been talking about for the last month a hell of a lot more. San Antonio would love to deny it to them. It's a narrative game, no question. But certainly looks like more of a lower scoring narrative game too, I'll say that much, and that doesn't play into any of their favors. The Currys, the Aldridges, any of them. I mean, you might have to take a couple just because of the raw points, but doesn't mean you need to load up. Alright, moving on, we got Favors against Denver. I love his position today, actually, guys, honestly. I really like him at 67. I mean, they're only projecting him at 32 points. I'm projecting him a lot higher, even though the over-under is like one of the lowest on the board at 192. I think somebody's going to show out to be the standout star of that game out of like Denver and Utah, and there is still some meaning in it, and it's basically going to be Hayward and Favors with 34 and 31 minutes on their projections, and I agree with that. They're both going to come out around like 2/3 of the game, 32 minutes each or so, and it's going to be ugly for Denver to try to keep up if they can't. They got Mutier, and I don't know. I think Denver's going to have a problem keeping up, to be honest. And that's just me. All right, and going on to center, we got Monroe. The over-under is a lot higher. You got 205 there. He's projected at 30 points, and he's projected at 26 minutes. The entire lineup is projected at 272 points. Not that wonderful, and that's RotoWire for you. Out of some courtesy, because of the 322 yesterday, I gave Daily Fantasy Cafe the next one. So, Daily Fantasy Cafe has Curry and Larkin in the point guard. Curry is projected at 49. Larkin is projected at 25. At the shot guard, we've got Barton and Hood. Barton's projected at 29, and Hood's projected at 27. We have, at the small forward, Leonard and Fournier. Leonard's projected at 40. And Fournier's projected at 29. And honestly, we love those picks, guys, with Depot out, Fournier picking up. And there was another one this morning, I forget. It's just so blended in my head right now. But there's a reason why both of these two guys are going to pick up the majority of minutes. Basically, their other guy that would cover the position has been injured. And the one of them in the last, God, I can't remember his name. It's on the tip of my tongue. But I'm going to move on. It's better for you guys for fat speed. All right, at power forward, we have Favors and Green. And I did. Fournier was projected at 29. Leonard was projected at 40 for small forward. For power forward, we have Favors and Green. Power forward, Favors projected at 34. Green projected at 41. And at center, Nurkic. Oh, my God. And everyone's been talking about him for days now, especially with what's been going on there. Yes, he's projected at 30. 0.42, and it's been so flexible, I'll just tell you the 0.42, because he could be a 25 and he could be a 35 today, and hell, that range is probably light. His standard deviation is high. Okay, this entire lineup is projected at 304, and that's Daily Fantasy Cafe. Alright, moving on. Now you guys get RotoQL. And RotoQL is projecting for us today, and this is with safety. They actually had a lineup with Calderon and Porzingis in it, and you can basically think about how that would work because you would take out Larkin and you would put in Calderon, and at the bottom, for one of the power forwards, you would take out Robinson and you'd put in Porzingis, and there'd be a couple other changes you would make, but essentially a lot of the lineup would remain the same. But this is their one that's safe because you need to be playing on what's actually going to happen and who's going to sit and who's not going to sit. And Porzingis may sit. Calderon is somewhat likely to sit. All right. At the point guard, you have Curry and Larkin. At the shot guard, you have Vujacic and Hood. At the small forward, you have Covington and Leonard. At the power forward, you have Robinson and Green. And at the center, you have Nurse. And they're projecting this at 314. And the numbers are somewhat similar to their other numbers. And you guys can always run that on your own phones. app.rotoql.com. Just type it in and, do a free registration. And you can always run your own projection and see these exact same players if you're really concerned about their exact values. But the whole lineup projected at 314. Okay. Now on to my lineup. Now I know my optimal didn't do the best yesterday. Matter of fact, it was probably among the worst compared to DFS. But I like to give mine out because I like to think about narrative and I like to think about stacking, and that makes a little more sense to me. It does. This isn't mine. This is. Oh, sorry guys. This is Daily Fantasy Cafe. I didn't even mean to skip them. There we go. Daily Fantasy Cafe today has Lowry and Larkin in the point guard positions. Lowry projected at 39. Larkin projected at 24. They have DeRozan and Barton in the shot guard positions. DeRozan's projected at 35.5. Barton's projected at 26. At the small forward, you got George projected at 39 and Carmelo projected at 38. At the power forward, you got Favors and Ferried. Favors projected at 32. Ferried projected at 26. And at the center, you have Monroe again, and Monroe's projected at 31. Okay, now let's move on to mine. It's probably down at the bottom, yeah. And let's just pick one that's tournament style because it makes it easier to see. All right. So, in the point guards for you guys, I have Peyton and Ennis. Oh, shit. Sorry, guys. Let's refocus. Okay, can't do much better, sorry. We have Peyton and Ennis. Peyton is in a great position right now. Basically, he's picking up the minutes with Depot out. And I swear that it's still on the tip of my head because someone's picking up the minutes like that Fournier is out, and that's why they're both going to get like 35 minutes tonight. And they're good locks against Miami. So I wouldn't stress the minutes. And I'm looking for minutes so primarily right now, along with decent playmanship, because that seems to be how to be able to cash in the last few days of the NBA. So many players sit and so many people get popped that, if you can just come out with a lineup that is a pretty much solid lineup and none of the guys sit, not a single one, you don't get a goose egg, you got a really good shot of cashing your 50-50s. So, all right, Peyton is my pick there with Orlando because he's going to pick up the minutes now. So, it's Aaron Gordon that got injured, that's out, and then Fournier is going to pick up the minutes. That's what I forgot. Depot out, and that's why Peyton gets all the time. And it's Gordon for Fournier, the small forward down there, and that's why he's getting all the minutes. So, moving on. At the other point guard, we got Ennis. They're trying him out at the end of the season here. You can read this little thing about, with the absence of Chris Middleton, where I'm pointing out right there if you focus in. But basically, Middleton's going to be out again, and against a really crappy Sixer team, I love that $4,100 price. We still need to find value to make decency fit. So, Ennis is my man. He's going to give you your minutes. I didn't even show you the game log. What did he show you last night, and it's when he's going to do the same. 38 minutes out of a game. Can you believe that, guys? Really? 38 frickin' minutes? No effing way. 38 effing minutes. That's just un-effing real. I mean, really? Can I focus in even better on that? Does it show 38 minutes, guys? I hope it shows 38 minutes because that's just like, you got to be kidding me. And the fantasy points that go with 38 minutes, you can see that too if it does it right. 33.7. You know, it was 13.8 before, but you got a good opponent tonight. This 4,100 value definitely looks like I'm 5 times for sure and maybe more. Take Ennis and don't even cry about it. Just run it and, pick your point guard for the other part, but I like Peyton tonight. All right, at shot guard, we got Wade and Hood. Wade is the opposite side of, you need to make sure that the guy's going to show some minutes and going to play, and he's not going to sit and, is there meaning for them and everything else. I mean, so, and read I'm just showing you this because FanDuel made this easy for people. The 4th seed of the Eastern Conference is still up for grabs, so look for Coach Spoelstra. Now, this was written, though, on the 8th. The 4th seed may or may not so much up for grabs anymore, but it still needs to be defended if you look at it in that way. So I still see a reason for Wade to be playing right now. Now, if they win today and they know they've got a good shot against Orlando, I mean, that's it. And Orlando's going to want to stop them. They're just going to want to be spoiler makers. But I like Wade today to put up one of his better performances, to give you a touch above 5 times value, to give you 38, 39, and be a good place to park some salary, which is the really hard thing now with so much value. Parking salary in the right places. I mean, I don't know about you guys, and I know that the perfect lineups do come out saying, only $55,000 was spent, but I just can't do it. It just... I can leave $1,000 on the table. I can leave a few hundred. I just can't leave like $8,000 on the table. I just can't. It just doesn't seem to make sense to me. It's like somebody had a bad game, and so I try to spend my salary if I can. I'll leave a little bit, but irrelevance. Side comments, guys. Sorry. Rodney Hood, good position tonight, guys. I'll pull it up and I'll show you his minutes, and I don't even need to explain so much why, but against a crappy Nuggets team, you can see just with the fantasy points. 35, 28, 27, 37, 33, 22 was the bad night against the Clippers last night, with a long game with 46. But it was 2 games ago. He's ready to come back. I mean, those overtime games are really kind of drainers, but they kind of like reset you and kind of put you into a new mode. I can't really explain that so much as I can just say it. It's just true. I mean, you can look at this 40-point performance where he put up 26, and then he puts up 35 2 days later, only 5 minutes less, but fantasy-wise it was an extra 10 points. And I think you're going to see something similar. You guys are going to see 36 minutes tonight, something like that, but you're probably going to see about 33, 34 fantasy points. It was more along the lines. And at a $5,500 salary, I'll take it all day long. And that's like close to 3... That's above 6 times value. Alphabet against the Sixers. Alphabet still is playing like because hey, I'm a rookie. I want to show everyone I've got. I mean, he's playing for a contract in his later years. He's not stupid, I don't think. I mean, I think that's what all these fantasy numbers are coming down to. This guy really just is, if he's given the minutes, he's going to give you the points, he's going to give you boards, he's going to give you assists, he's going to be all over the goddamn court. He will lose the ball a couple times because a couple people will get past him, but he'll steal it once, to make up for a couple of the turnovers, and it ain't bad, really. You want Alphabet, guys. It's a good way to spend up today. I mean, especially when you're looking for places to spend up. And then Fournier is your other choice there with Gordon out because he's going to get the majority of minutes. You're looking at some guy that's going to get like 35 to 40 fantasy points off of 57 value. It's just a mismatch, and it's just because of injuries at the last second. I mean, they still do, both sites, FanDuel and DraftKings, try to price even based on last-minute changes with everything. I mean, you'll find guys that are on the second string start to adjust to 6,000 to 7,000 because they're playing the majority of the minutes. They're like the starters, and it's okay. You can still find value if you think and you look hard. Okay, moving on to power forward, we got Favors and Parker. Favors, like I was saying before, he's in that good position against Denver tonight. I'm just all over Favors. I don't think that you're going to see like a 50-point performance from him tonight, but you're not going to see 20. That's for damn sure. You're getting 35 points for your 6,700, maybe even 40, which is... It's one of those take it all day long kind of situations, and that's what I do for cash to make sure your cash lineup wins. All right. We got Parker against the Sixers. Run it. It's part of the Milwaukee triple stack that you can guys now see. The stacking is really good and really helpful with the way things are nowadays. This actually has a double Utah stack thrown on with it and a double Orlando stack thrown on with it. And then the other two things are a double Miami. It's literally just 4 teams, try to pick, Orlando and Miami, you're not just picking the winners of the teams, you're picking that it's a high-scoring game, but the other two, you're picking the winners of the games, and there's more scoring. So, you got Jabari Parker right there playing for the Bucks, part of your triple stack against the Sixers. Just run with it. Look at his numbers lately. He's getting his minutes, blowout or not. And Whiteside against those now somewhat depleted. I mean, guys, I love him. I love Fournier. I love Peyton, but that's what Whiteside's defense is going to be. It's still shocking to me that the guy comes off the bench. I mean, he should just be a starter and they should just be done with it. But, whatever. You coach however you want to in the NBA. It's not my purview. It's not my job. All right. Now, after my ideal lineup, here are your extras, guys. I got 2 bonuses for you. Here's your express entry for today. If you're running the express games, point guard, Curry and Peyton. Shot guard, Wade and Thompson. Small forward, George and Fournier. Make sure George is playing. You'll have time with an express. Don't worry about it. It's the first one running. Power forward, Deron Williams and Luan Deng. Center, Bogut. If George doesn't play, upgrade your center. Or Deng. Take your pick. Don't lose Williams or Fournier. And your bonus for late night. Tonight's late night. Point guard, Curry and Grant. Shot guard, Thompson and Galloway. Small forward, Carmelo and Kwame Leonard. God, you really hope he doesn't get destroyed by Pop. But, he'll probably play and just not, play the whole game if they end up ahead. And you never know. Power forward, Draymond Green and Deron Williams. And center, Bogut again. Alright, those are your bonuses for today, guys. I'm going to go refocus back in on the main part because that's what most important to most people. They want to see at the very end of the video, especially because I tell people, skip to the end if you need to. Always skip to the end if you want to see the ideal lineup for the day. Okay? Today's ideal cash lineup. Yeah, I know it's listed in a quintuple up. It's just a guess. Guys, today's recommended cash lineup, cash, 50-50 single entries. You know what? I'm just going to go in on one of those because that's how you're supposed to do it. Like this. 50-50 league, $1, top 50% win. Peyton and Ennis at the point guard. Wade and Hood in the shot guard. Alphabet and Fournier at small forward. Favors and Parker at power forward. And Whiteside for the center. Alright, guys. I hope you have a wonderful weekend already going on. You have a beautiful week coming up. Go out there and go win some money.